the Hat presents Dr. Seuss, the Cat in the Hat. And now back to the Cat in the Hat on TNT Seuss-eration.
Bye, kids. I'm leaving now. Have fun. I'll be back at 3:30 sharp.
Sit by the window, just sit there and wish there was something. Something to do. Too gooey and dunky outdoors to play ball. Nothing doing. Nothing at all.
Fun, fun, how can you have fun? Just sitting doing nothing when there's nothing to be done. Nothing, 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 absolutely nothing, nothing, positively, absolutely, absolutely, positively, nothing, 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 nothing to be done.
Nothing to do but sit. Just sit in the house. Just sit there and grumble. Then, all of a sudden, something went bump.
Lord, a cat in a hat.
You will note I am neat. Wiped my feet on the mat. Why do you sit there like that? I know it is wet and the sun is not sunny. I know it is damp and the sidewalks are runny. But what I can't see...
Now, you listen here, cat.
...is why you sit there like that. I know some good games we can play.
Listen, cat.
I know some great tricks.
Listen, cat.
I know that your mother won't mind if I do, and I'm simply itching to show them to you and to you.
Out of this house. I'm warning you. Get.
Who's that? I believe that we haven't yet met.
The name is Crinklebine. Carlos K. Crinklebine.
Ooh.
Now, please go away. Tell that top-hatted cat he should not be about. He should not be here when your mother is out.
My dear Mr. Crinklebine, my tricks are quite safe. I invite you to join in the fun if you wish. There's a game that I call Hop, Hop, Hop with a Fish.
Put me down. Put me down, you fool cat. Outrageous. Now let me repeat, and I don't like to shout, but he should not be here when your mother is out.
It's up to you kids. Whatever you say. If you think me untrustworthy, send me away.
Well, he is getting the house sort of messy and dirty. And Mother...
Yeah, Mother. Back home at 3:30.
A vote of no confidence. I most humbly bow to the voice of the majority. Goodbye now. Off to Siberia. Somebody stole my moss-covered three-handled family gradanza. Nobody's going to leave this room until I find it.
Pardon me, sir. You lost a moss-covered what?
Three-handled family gradanza. So, that's your attitude, eh, Trinklestein? Did you steal it? There's a gradanza snitcher in the house. Things will never be the same. How dear to my heart was that beautiful gradanza that my old feline father bequeathed to me. That old family gradanza, the old three-handled family gradanza, the old moss-covered Grandanza that hung on the family tree. I've been burgled, twirtled by a fish.
Aw, give it back to him, Mr. Crinklevine. Come on now, don't be mean.
But I didn't steal his what's-this. I'm guiltless. I'm clean.
Twirtled by a fish. I'll never see my darling moss-covered, three-handled family Grandanza anymore.
By the way, Cat, just what is a family Grandanza?
Oh, they can spell style from triple G to minus aught.
Is it bigger than a...
Occasionally, but on most occasions, no.
Is it smaller than a...
They no longer make that kind. But one family Grandanza is always smaller than another. Should old family Grandanzas be forgot and never brought to mind? Now, if I were a fish, where would I hide a moss-covered, three-handled family Grandanza?
Whatever it isn't here. And whatever it isn't here.
Wherever it is left in some lurch. Wherever it is, we must speed up the search.
I'll tell you this. It's not in the unabridged dictionary. But let's find that thing and get rid of that cat.
There are more scientific methods of searching than that.
And just what kind of science does the cat recommend?
Why, the principle of calculatus eliminatus, my friend.
Calculatus what?
Calculatus eliminatus. I went to Cat Tech, where I studied the same. What other cats do you know who can make such a claim?
Very well, Dr. Calculatus. Find it and eliminate it yourself.
I shall indeed. When you've mislaid a certain something, keep your cool and don't get hot. Calculatus eliminatus is the best friend that you've got. Calculatus eliminatus always helps an awful lot. The way to find a missing something is to find out where it's not. It isn't here, I'll mark it X. It isn't there, I'll mark that Y. It isn't underneath the apple, mark the apple HKI.
It isn't in this keyhole.
No.
And it isn't on my knee.
Mark the keyhole K300, mark the knee 57B. We just jot down all the places where it isn't, and gee whiz, very shortly we will locate where the missing object is.
It isn't here.
842J.
It isn't there.
F607. You can mark the piano 22,000 decimal point 11.
It isn't in the icebox.
That's strange.
It's not on this TV.
Icebox 024.5. TV 1,000,003. When you've mislaid a certain something, keep your cool, don't go to pot. Calculatus eliminatus is the best friend that you've got.
Calculatus eliminatus always helps an awful lot.
The way to find a missing something is to find out where it's not.
Look at this house. Look at this. Look at that. This uncouth, barbaric, tempestuous lout. He should not be here when their mother is out.
Very well. I'm a punk. A cartunculous schunk. Nobody loves me. Not one tiny hunk. I agree. I'm a griffulous, gruffulous groove. I'm a schmoozler, a schminkler, and a poo-poobler, too. I'm a horrendous object, which nobody loves. I'm untouchable, unless you wear antiseptical gloves. So what? I'm a punk. Nobody loves me. Not one tiny hunk. I'm a punk.
Cartunculous schnunk. Shotungulus cat. Incredulous. Out, 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 out.
Crinklefish, old fellow. Your little fish nerves are so jumpy-wumpy. Fishenstein, poor fellow. Your little heart's going bumpy-wumpy. Fish, poor old fellow. I know exactly what you need. You need a small tranquilizer. You do. You do indeed. Poor troubled crinklefish friend. Just relax. Close your eyes. Your good old Uncle Cat will now proceed to tranquilize. Beautiful kitten fish, sleep, baby, sleep. Your eyelids are droopy, bloop, 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 bleep, bleep. The Sandman on your toes comes creep, 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 creep. Hush your mouth, shush your mouth, sleep, 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 sleep. In your Betty Bob, sweet dreams to you. With your teddy bears, say bye. Blue, 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 blue. Beautiful kitten fish. Sleep, baby, sleep. Bloop, 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 bloop. Sleep, sleep, sleep. From this box will emerge Thing 2 and Thing 1, and they can find anything under the sun. It can be done. It can be done. They can do anything, anything, anything under the sun. If your nerves are getting nervous and your house is topsy-turvous, they are always at your service. Thing 2 and Thing 1.
Fish, there's always one, some long face, sour belly son of a gun.
There's always some fish, some sour-belly fish, whose only one wish is to blood enough fun. Doesn't like fun, doesn't like fun, good, wholesome, isn't fun.
FBI? Where is everybody?
Sorry, that line is temporarily out of order.
There's always some fish who doesn't like fun, good, clean, wholesome, isn't fun.
They can find anything, anything under the sun.
Reactionary fish face louse, doesn't like flying kites in the house.
They can find anything, anything under the sun.
All of it, biggity, biggity, fish to fly outdoors.
Thing 2 and Thing 1. They can find anything, anything, anything under the sun.
Hello?
22, 37, 43, 10, 67, 21, 14, 8, height!
There's always some fish, some crotchety one.
There's always some fish, some blotchety one.
There's always some fish, some sour-belly fish. There's always some fish, some fish.
If your nerves are getting nervous and your house is topsy-turvous, they will both be at your service. On the run, they'll find my long-lost, moss-covered, three-handled family gradunza. Thing 2 and Thing 1.
Out! Out! Out of this house!
Out! Out! Why, every house should have a cat in it. Curled up by the fireplace, a little warm.
Out! And take those things with you! Out!
Take the things. Without things in it.
They're not things. They're going with a cat. Whoever heard of a 6-foot cat?
But I am a cat. Technically, I'm a cat in a hat.
You're not a cat. That's not a hat. You're not a cat.
I am indeed a cat, and this, indeed, is a hat. In English, cat. Hat. In French, chapeau. It really is quite obvious, don't you know? In English, cat. Hat. in French, shut chapeau. Un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq. Here we go. I repeat, cat, hat, in French, chapeau. In Spanish, el gato in a sombrero.
He's a cat in a hat. He's a cat in a chapeau. He also is a gato in a sombrero. Ole, 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 oh.
Where were we? Oh, yes. Cat, hat, in French, chapeau. In Spanish, el gato in a sombrero. And I'll tell you something more. Now you listen to me good. In German, I'm a Katze und das ist meine Hut. Ist das nicht ein Katzerhut?
Ja, das ist ein Katzerhut. Katzerhut, Katzerhut. Ja, das ist ein Katzerhut.
Now, after every sentence of mine, I'll recapitulate. Cat, hat, in French, chapeau. In Spanish, el gato in a sombrero. In German, I'm a Katze in a hoot. And don't you know, I'm a Guanka in a bunker quunk. In Eskimo,
You're a guanka in a bunker crunk in Eskimo?
right.
He's a Guanka in a bunker quunk in Eskimo. Ist das nicht ein Bunkerquunk? Ja, das ist ein Bunkerquunk. Bunker, 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 bunker. Yes, indeed, that is so. He's a Guanka in a bunker quunk in Eskimo.
Now, to be certain that I have this straight, I'll recapitulate. Cat, hat, in French, chapeau.
Good.
In Spanish, you're a gato in a sombrero. In German, you're a Katze in a hood. I also know you're a gunka in a bunker punk in Eskimo.
By George, I think he's got it.
Now, if you will allow me, sir, but please don't think I'm pushing, I think that I can tell you what you are in Russian. What? Shabka, schlappa. You're a shabka in a schlappa. Hey!
I am. Why, that's splendid. I'm shapka in a shlappa. I'm a 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 shapka in a shlappa. That's enough of that. I'm a cat in a hat.
He's a cat of many countries, he's a cat of many hats.
He's a guppy in a busby, he's a snurker in a snat.
And in Scotland, up in Scotland, in Bonnie Scotland. In Bonnie Scotland, I'm a, in Bonnie Scotland, he's a, in Switzerland, I'm a yodel, 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 in a yodel, he's a yodel, 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 in a yodel,
And what am I in dear old Ireland?
Why, you're a cage in a kinfair.
And in Holland.
You're, let me see. Oh, you're a cat in a hole.
Glory be.
He's a cat of many countries, he's a cat of many hats, many, many foreign countries, and an awful lot of hats.
He's boo-boo, boo-boo, he's a darling, he's a scoo-boo and a swalling.
He's a vodka in a bed, he's a vodka in a bed.
Out in far photo, I'm a Turk in a pagoda. I'm a bus in a fedora. How are things in Glockamora?
Your mother.
Mother? Mother?
Thank you for a fascinating afternoon.
What we do now?
She's passing Mrs. Blomberg's house.
Sweep up the memories, those old untidy memories, broken, mixed up memories of what we had one day.
She's passing Mrs. Thompson's house.
Sweep out the nonsense, that crazy happy nonsense. This world's too old for nonsense. Just sweep it all away.
Here she is, coming up the driveway.
Everything in a state of grace. Everything back in its proper place. No more rainbows for us to chase. No more games to play.
Garage door's open. She's inside the garage.
Sweep out the laughter. There's no more time for laughter. At least, not until after I come back.
Now she's taking her groceries out of the car.
And you know,
Here she comes.
I just
Hi, kids. Hope you had fun today. Well, you kids will never believe this, but I could almost swear I saw a cat. A cat in a hat, mind you, going down the street with a moss-covered, three-handled family Gredunza.
We'll be right back with more of the Seuss-abration on TNT. And now back to the Cat in the Hat on TNT Seuss-abration.
And a very good morning to you, Mr. Grinch. There it is, he said. The Grinch comes face to face with the Cat in the Hat. Who will have the last laugh? The Grinch's Cat in the Hat is next. Part of TNT's month-long Seuss-abration, featuring TNT's new movie, In Search of Dr. Seuss, premiering tonight at 8 Eastern.
Sure was a beauty. The sun came up glowing and glistening. And when the dawn broke, all the whistle birds woke. The whistle birds all woke up whistling. Unusually beautiful morning it was. Even the Grinch woke up whistling. His dog Max was amazed. He stared up from the floor. A whistling Grinch? Never happened before. Never before had this nasty old guy leapt out of his bed with a smile in his eye and whistled hello to the birds in the sky. Unbelievable.
And a very good morning to you, Mr. Grinch. There it is, he said. It seems so. Sort of. I see nothing to whistle about. You must be out of your head, no doubt. I think the time has come for thee to repeat the Grinch's oath with me. Our Grinch is unhelpful, unfriendly, unkind, anxious thoughts in an unhealthy mind. A Grinch is uncheerful, uncouth, and unclean. Now say this together. I'm frightfully vain. My eyes are so shifty. My fingers are thrifty. My mouth will not smile, not half of an inch. I'm a Grinch. I am a Grinch. I'm a Grinch. That's my boy. Now go out and prove it.
Oh, the bees are busy buzzing in the beezleberry vine, while the beezleberry sweeten in the good old sunny shine. It's gonna be a sunny, buzzy beezleberry day, a day when cats put on fresh hats, when cats put on their picnic hats and go outside to play. leapfrogs are a-leapin', and they're leapin' mighty fine. And they're leapin' while they're leapin' in the good old sunny shine. It's gonna be a beepin', leapin', moo-moo of a day, a buzzy berry, beasley berry, lulu of a day.
You get this crate out of my way.
I am tremendously so sorry, Mr. whatever your name is. I do seem to be blockerizing and obstructivating your mobility.
Obstructivating my mobility. Will it?
However, Mr. Hooses, if you will be so kind as to hold my hot dog, that's a good fellow. I will de-blockerize and de-obstructivate this roadway, allowing you to sally forth on your merry, merry way. I deeply deplore any inconvenientalities that I may have caused you, Mr. Greenface.
Greenface?
I thank you for your patience, and I wish you a felicitous resumption towards your ultimate destination on the...
Mr. Greenface?
Phew! Relax.
In this world of complexitous complication, in this world of circuitous puzzleization, in this world of redunculous ruffianization, there comes a time for relax. Ification. Your life's full of boulders, but shrug your shoulders. Just shrug your shoulders. Relax. In this world of in this world of peculiar. In this world.
Having problems, Mr. Cat in the Hat? Come inside. I have something to show you. This, sir, is my acoustical anti-audial bleeper, otherwise known as my vacuum sound sweeper.
That's the darn thing that makes the sound sound stupid?
It sucks out of the air every noise, every sound, and gargles the sound waves for 50 miles round. Nifty little contraption, isn't it?
Zimplausible, zimpossible, unreasonable, and unlawsable. Such things never happen in the middle of the day, and if they do, I ignore them, and they're bound to go away.
From now on, you will hear what I want you to hear. On again, off again, make the sound cough again. I am the boss of what everyone hears. The sound of your voice is the sound of my choice. I am the master of everyone's ears. my thumb with the greatest of ease. If I wish, I can stop all the buzzing of bees. And as for your lovebirds, I can't stand their chirping, so I just push my button. Your lovebirds start burping. The sounds that you make are the sounds of my choice. I can make you sound better or make you sound worse. When your bull goes out mooing, there'll be no more mooing. When I wish to hear moos, I can hear them from you.
Not for me.
I can puzzle the sound of what everyone hears. I'm the puzzle club master of everyone hears. Aha!
We'll be right back with more of the Seuss-abration on TNT. And now back to the Grinch's Cat in the Hat on TNT Seuss-abration.
Where are you, Max? You know, Maxie, oh, Heidi Whitey from Grinchy Winchy. That cat, that Beezleberry cat, I snuggle his sound. Now I'll even do more. Take this up to my shop on the 39th floor. That cat's gonna suffer like never before. This is the legal gear, and as you know, it goes round and it makes the beagle gear go, and the beagle gear turns the elliptical thrust, which in turn is attached to the gratical thrust, which rotates the flange of the Salamanca, and that decompresses the sacculate springs, which fluctuate round in the ramulus springs, which heats up the pongs as they heat up the pings, and that brings about the most horrible thing. Max, do you know what a lighthouse is? A lighthouse makes light. So, just for a lark, I built me a dark house. A dark house makes dark. I just push a button up here in this place, and you can't see your mitten in front of your face.
Huh? What? What? I can't see my mitten in front of my face.
How you doing, kitty kitty? Are you feeling pretty good, Mr. Cat in the Hoot? Besides being boss of your ears and your sound, I can make gloom for 100 miles round.
Ooh, that Grinch. That Grinch. That psychopathic Grinch. Why is a Grinch? What makes him tick? Why is his Grinch brain sick, sick, sick? Oh, boy, if I had a psychiatrist's couch, I'd find out what's wrong with that Grinchy grouch.
That's a lot of rot.
Is there something in your family tree that causes Grinch delinquency?
Absolutely not.
As a boy, were you never a good Boy Scout? Did you ever eat too much sauerkraut? Did your school teacher say that you were a fool? Did you dive in an empty swimming pool?
Positively not.
Did you fight a lot with your older sisters? Did you suffer from poison ivy blisters? The shoes that you wore, were they too tight? Were you afraid to go out in the dark at night? Did some big bully steal your kite? Your teeth, was there something wrong with your bite? Or maybe your mother didn't treat you right?
Absolutely, positively, that's a lot of rot.
One of the most difficult patients I've ever had. I'm going to make a house call. This is a bit more complicatitious than I thought.
That darkness is getting quite dull, don't you think? Let's liven things up with some persimmon
Phew!
May I suggest the Sizzling Chef Special?
But I'm not hungry.
An excellent choice.
Here you are, sir. The delicious Sizzling Chef Special.
Watch this. I'll give 'em a double gadickle flummax deluxe. Oh, what a super duper flummax deluxe. And now, I will give them a triple ring Fitzerunk Uncle de Schlop with a marshmallow sauce and a cherry on top.
He has smuggled our light. He's guzzled our sound. He's bamboozled our lives. And a way must be found to cease him from splotzing his evil around.
We'll be right back with more of the Seussabration on TNT. And now back to the Grinch's Cat in the Hat on TNT Seussabration.
That Grinch. That notice there must be a soft spot. There must be a weakness. Despite the grim fact that he's depraved and deranged, I will find that soft spot. That Grinch can be changed. He hates cows. He hates cats. He hates frogs. He hates doves. Is there nobody he loves?
Absolutely not. That's a lot of rot.
Round-dee-dow. I've got it. I've got the Grinch psychologicalized. You, and you. Follow me, men and madam. We're going to ungrinch the Grinch.
How am I doing, old fellow? Magnificently.
Soften your heart, remember your mother. Everyone, even a Grinch, had a mother who taught him of love between one and another. Oh, remember your mother's warm arms as she held you. Remember your sweet mother's eyes. She adored you. Remember how hard mother worked to afford you. How she patted your cheek while you sat on her knees. Oh, remember your wonderful Grinch mother, please. Wherever she's now, her eyes are still looking down at you, and wondering what's cooking deep down in your brain. Must you give her more pain? Please soften your heart, make Mom happy
There, son. Everything's going to be all right. Mama? Yes, son. Now be a good boy and clean up your room. Yes, Mama. Hand me a wrench, man. We've got work to do.
Once again, it was a beautiful morning. Once again, the sun came up whistling, and the whistle birds once more were whistling. This was gooder than good. This was grander than grand. There was peace in his heart. There'd be peace in the land.
And a very good morning to you, Mr. Grin. Oh, it is it? I think the time has come for thee to repeat the Grinch's
We'll be right back with more of the Seussabration on TNT.
What is your name, please? My name is Ted Geisel.
Come along with me in search of Dr. Seuss. We'll try to catch him if we can. He's out there on the loose. Come along with me in search of Dr. Seuss. I know that we will find him. He will be a cinch. You'll have the Grinch. At the Grinch. Soon you'll be within our reach. At the cinch, you're gonna be. Oh, the places you go. There is fun to be done. There are games to be won. I said, oh, the places you go. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way. Oh, the places you go. The places we'll go. Come along with me in search of Dr. Seuss.
For your mind.
Don't lag behind.
Not as much as you.
Come along with me in search of Dr. Seuss. Maybe we can find a missing cat.
The cat.
In the hat.
In the hat. Where's the cat?
And Wilford Lowe.
All the places we will go.
Hello. Is this the home of Dr. Seuss?
Yes.
Great. My name is Kathy Lane.
Yes.
I'm on assignment from a newspaper. The firm press time. Ah! Ah! Oh my gosh! What is that? Oh my. This is good. This is great. Yes. Very nice.
Not good, not right, not nice. Shameful. But exactly what I would have expected as a journalist.
Listen, I'm very sorry. I just have this demanding city editor, and today she's demanding a new angle on the world of Dr. Seuss. Ooh, get it off.
Can't
have it.
Hey, the media's snooping around tomorrow. Swirl.
Ride Horton the elephant. Eat a Grinch burger.
Good new man.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Don't you have a library at the newspaper? Many articles have been written about Dr. Seuss.
I read every article that's ever been written. What I need now is the inside scoop. Please? For us? Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
For the press.
Okay.
A quick look around, and then...
Listen, I'm not moving in. I have a deadline, okay? All right, let's go.
This was his workspace. His drawings... His desk. Get the feeling? Now.
Oh, okay, great. That was very informative. Thank you very much. Oh, this is good. Okay. And you are? What's your name? I need to quote the source.
Not important who I am.
You don't understand the newspaper business. I need your name, okay? Credit a source. Read my lips. Maybe you're right. I don't need a source. Just the idea of source. Like that. Oh, look. Look. Open the book. Open your imagination. Stop.
No. What? No.
I like nonsense. It wakes up the brain cells. Fantasy is a necessary ingredient in living. It's a way of looking at life through the wrong end of a telescope, which is what I do, and that enables you to laugh at all of life's realities.
You were looking for a story that would catapult you at a fern grip.
How did you know I wanted to get at it?
Juggling the obvious. What we do here.
Well, here now is where here was when I came here. So why don't we start with what rather than where? For instance, what is the real story on Dr. Seuss?
This is the real story. And there's no turning back now. What most people don't realize is that he devoted his life to fighting religious, racial, and social injustice. In his younger days, he did this through his political cartoons using the sledgehammer approach.
I like this. What is this about?
This is one of his political cartoons from PM Magazine, an attack on Hitler's racism. So that cartoon was to one day become the Smooches. Over here, please.
Okay, little pink boats, pink sand, Red trees, very good. Cat print. No. No.
Why don't we pause here?
How nice.
Madame?
Thank you.
The Sneetches. Now, the star-belly Sneetches had bellies with stars. The plain-belly Sneetches had none upon them.
We're the best kind of sneak on the beaches.
The star-belly Sneetches kept them away, never let them come near. And that's how they treated the plain-belly Sneetches year after year. That is, until a stranger approached in the strangest of cars.
My friends, I have seen they've been treating you mean. My name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean. I know precisely why you're so unhappy, and that I can fix. I'm the fix-it-up chappie. By my new patent process of polar potoxis of the inner subnuclear noosebomb nogoxis, you'll get a star like the star-bellied sneetch. A star? Here? Yes, my friend, there. And the first to go through gets the trip at half fare. Thank you.
Yeah! It worked! It worked! It worked!
When the plain-belly Sneetches popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon theirs.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are faced with a most awkward dilemma. We're the true star-bellies. We had them first. We're still the best Sneetches, and they're still the worst.
Belly stars, my dear friends, are no longer in style, and I'll have yours off in a very short while in my wondrous machine which eradicates stars. Then you won't look like Sneetches who have them on bars. How original!
How distinctive.
How exclusive.
All the rest of that day on those wild, screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up Sneetches. Off again, on again, in again, out again, through the machines, they raced round and about again, changing their stars every minute or two until neither the plane nor the starbellies knew whether this one was that one or that one was this one, or which one was what one or what one was who. Then, when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie packed up, and he went. And he laughed as he drove his car up the beach.
They never will learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch.
But McBean was quite wrong. I'm happy to say that the Sneetches got really quite smart on that day. That day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches. And no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beach. That day all the Sneetches forgot about stars and whether they had one or not upon Mars. Great story. Excuse me. Question time. Did Dr. Seuss experience any of this prejudice firsthand?
In some ways, he was a lot like the Sneetches.
What, he had a star in his belly?
No, outcast.
Oh.
He was raised in America, but his parents were German, which made him an easy target during the First World War. He was chased home by the local kids yelling, "Kaiser!" and bouncing lumps of coal off his head.
You know, my readers are going to want to know a lot more about his early life. What else?
I have a hunch you're going to have some very satisfied readers.
Oh. Just hold on, Miss Bertha. Are you all right?
Oh, was that ever wrong, Hunch? I'm getting too old for this. Mr. Hunch.
Is... Hunches and Buncha! Oh, it's you! Look, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't recognize... Where did you come from?
I was rocking in my chair, trying to follow a hunch. It's awfully awful. You can't make up your mind. Do you want to kick a football? Or sit there or go behind?
I was home.
Do you want to go out skating?
Maybe.
By a kite or climb a tree?
No, Pop.
Do you want to eat a pizza or take a bath or watch TV? Well, I found a dog. So, have you met any other friends of Dr. Seuss?
You mean like the cat in the... No, nothing's in there.
Now, he's too mysterious for me. A hunch. He's not in here.
You're right.
I got a bunch hunch.
For what? Green eggs and ham. I do not like green eggs and ham. I would not like them here or there. I would not like them anywhere.
I have a hunch you might just change your mind. Oh, pineapple butterscotch. Ding-daddy-doo.
A ding-a-who, a what?
3 chicken croquettes of library paste with peanut chunks, pickled and spiced and baked at 600 degrees and iced.
Tempting, very tempting.
Slop with a cherry on top.
No, it's just... Okay.
Green eggs patch. This is for me.
Is it the choices? No cran apple? Oh, no, do goose juice. Goose is good. Okay.
Moose juice. Right.
Mr. Hunt, now that it's just the two of us, breaking bread together, I thought maybe I could, just feel free to ask you just a couple of questions if you don't mind. Like, for instance, I heard Dr. Seuss was a very shy, retiring man. Is this true?
No.
No?
No.
Sure?
No. He often described himself as part cat in the hat, wily, a jokester, and part Grinch.
Mr. Hunt, tell me everything you know and start from the beginning.
Oh, movie star, ready?
Yep.
Ted Geisel was born in Springfield, Massachusetts, in 1904, and lived near Mulberry Street. His father, Theodore, taught him the importance of self-belief and determination. His dad worked 35 years at the Kumbach and Geisel Brewery. The day he was promoted to president, prohibition was declared. So he turned to designing the Springfield parks and running the zoo. He told young Ted, no matter how small the task, always strive for perfection. His mother, Henrietta Seuss, gave her son his sense of humor and the name Seuss. She read to him when he was a baby, and by the age of 6, he was reading the classics. He spent as much time in the Carnegie Library as he did at school. He loved Charles Dickens, Robert Louis Stevenson, but his favorite was Jonathan Swift.
Here's a book inspired by his early family life. McGilligan's Pool. I have a hunch there's more here than meets the eye.
Young man, you're sort of a fool. You'll never catch fish in McGilligan's Pool. The pool is too small, and you might as well know it. When people have junk, here's the place that they throw it. If you sat 50 years with your worms and your wishes, you'd grow a long beard long before you'd catch fishes.
It may be you're right. I've been here 3 hours without one single bite. There might be no fish, but again, well, there might. This might be a pool like a Bredovin book, connected to one of those underground brooks. It might be a river now, mightn't it be, connecting McGilligan's Pool with the sea. Then maybe some fish might be swimming towards me. I might catch a finfish. I might catch a stoutfish. I might catch a short or a long, drawn-out fish. I might catch a fish with a tail-like tail. I might catch a fish who has fins like a sail. I might catch some young ones, some high-jumping friskers. I might catch an old one with long, flowing whiskers. I might catch a fish with a long, curly nose. I might catch a fish like a rooster that crows. I might catch a fish with a checkable belly, or even a fish made of strawberry jelly. Who wants to catch small ones like mackerel or trout? Say! I'll catch a sawfish with such a long snout, and he needs an assistant to help him about. From the world's deepest ocean, from way down below, from down in the mud where the deep divers go, from down in the mire and the muck and the murk, I might catch some fish who are all going glork. Oh, the sea is so full of a number of fish. If a fellow is patient, he might get his wish. And that's why I think that I'm not such a fool when I sit here a fish in McElligot's pool.
This book is dedicated to T.R. Geisel of Springfield, Massachusetts, his father, the world's greatest authority on blackfish, fiddler crabs, and deagle trout. This must be the deagle trout, right?
One day, his father took him trout fishing, and both of them bragged to family and friends about how many fish they were going to catch.
And they probably came home with bupkis, right?
No, a minnow.
So all the way home, they stopped off at Deagle's Fish Hatchery, scooped up the biggest mess of fish they could for $2. That's how funny it is.
Nobody ever knew the difference till now. I love this deagle trout stuff.
Let that go, then on the river, and just so on, so on, so forth.
Well, Horton the elephant.
TNT's In Search of Dr. Seuss will return with the Seuss classic, Horton Hatches the Egg. This presentation of In Search of Dr. Seuss is brought to you by Johnson's Baby Shampoo and by Mattel. Now, back to the premiere of TNT's In Search of Dr. Seuss.
Horton hatches the egg. Sighed Maisie, a lazy bird hatching an egg.
I'm tired, and I'm bored, and I kinks in my legs from just sitting here day after day. It's work. How I hate it. I'd much rather play. If I could find someone, I'd fly away. Free.
Then, Horton the elephant passed by her tree.
And on the river, and just so on, so on, so forth. Huh?
You've nothing to do, and I do need a rest. Would you like to sit on the egg in my nest?
Me on your egg? Why, it doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm so immense.
I'll hurry right back. Why, I'll never be missed.
Very well. Since you insist, I'll stay and be faithful. I mean what I say.
Sang out Maisie and fluttered away. Then carefully, tenderly, gently he crept up the trunk of the nest with a little egg flap. And he sat all that day, and he kept the egg warm, and he sat all that night through a terrible storm. And then came the winter, the snow, and the sleet, and icicles hung from his trunk and his feet.
I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant faithful, 100%. Gazoon time.
So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through, and then came the springtime with troubles anew. His friends gathered round, and they shouted with glee.
Look! Horton the elephant's up in a tree.
They laughed and they laughed. Then they all ran away. And Horton was lonely. He wanted to play. But while Horton sat there, so faithful, so kind, 3 hunters came sneaking up softly behind. He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. A rifle was aiming right straight at his heart. Did he run? No, not Horton. He stayed on that nest. He held his head high. He threw out his chest. And he looked at the hunters, and he said, plain as day,
Shoot if you must, but I won't run away.
Well, take him away. Why, he's terribly funny.
We'll sell him back home to a circus for money.
Sold to a circus, then week after week, they showed him to people at 10 cents a piece. Dawdling along way up high in the sky, who, of all people, should chance to fly by? And she swooped from the clouds to an open tent door.
I've seen you before.
Poor Horton looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, there rang out the noisiest, ear-splitting squeak from the egg that he'd sat on for 51 weeks.
My egg! My egg! But it's hatching!
It's my egg. You stole it from me. Get off of my nest and get out of my tree.
Poor Horton backed down with a sad, heavy heart. But at that very instant, the egg burst apart. Then Horton the elephant saw something whiz. It had ears and a tail and a trunk just like his.
My gracious! Good heavens, my word! That's something brand new! It's an elephant boy!
Yes, he meant what he said, and he said what he meant.
And they sent him home happy 100%!
So, what do you think of the Horton story?
I think it's great. I mean, it's true there's more to being a mom than the actual laying of the egg, if you will. Plus, you don't have to give birth to be a good parent.
Horton is a fine example of courage and loyalty, two themes that run throughout Dr. Seuss's work.
Where did he learn how to draw?
Well, there were art lessons in high school, but the teacher wanted him to draw the world as it is, and Seuss wanted to draw things as he saw them. So, he walked out of class and began drawing for the school paper. But it was in Dartmouth College where he really began to draw and to marry words to images.
Now, I know he enrolled in Dartmouth College to become a teacher.
College is for 10, Bob. He wasn't the greatest student, but he had a great sense of humor. It even helped him become editor of the school paper, the Jack-O'-Lantern.
The Roaring 20s must have been an excellent time for comedy writers.
Oh, may we! Lots of good material, like the new jazz, the Bullrunner to the Beatles, and the new liquor laws.
Wait a minute. Now, where did he get the name Dr. Seuss?
Remember, this was the era of prohibition. One night, he, 10 students, and a pint of gin were in his dorm room when the local chief of police walked in.
Seuss was busted for cocktails?
When the dean discharged him as editor of the Jack-O'-Lantern, he assumed his mother's maiden name, Seuss, and continued submitting cartoons. But it wasn't his only pen name. In later years, there were 13 books under the name T. Lessig.
What?
Geisel spelled backwards.
What a kook.
Wait up.
When we come back, Patrick Stewart takes you to Mulberry Street as TNT's In Search of Dr. Seuss continues. We now return to In Search of Dr. Seuss, a TNT movie premiere.
I thought you were the Cat in the Hat. The Cat in the Hat? It's her. Here.
Hello. Where is here?
Oh, here is where Dr. Seuss spent a great deal of his life.
The
world of advertising.
Oh, commercials.
Oh, Seuss. My dear, you've never heard of Blitz?
What is cheese crackers? Which is an insecticide.
You got it. The insecticide of the day. Thanks to Dr. Seuss, of course, who created the ads for Flip for 17 years. From newspapers to animated cartoons. Quick, Henry, the Flip! Ring the bell?
No, sorry.
Oh, what?
Oh.
How about the Seuss Navy? In the 1930s, it was the largest navy in the world.
The Seuss Navy? You're joking.
No, no joke. The Seuss Navy was his promotional brainstorm. He created it for Standard Oil's Esso Marine, a lubricant for boats.
He printed up diplomas and gave them
to prominent people. Within months, he was besieged with requests
from celebrities, even the Standard Oil fleet, even the Queen Mary.
Stop, please.
Going too fast?
No. It's just the swaying. Making me a little ill. Okay. Now, according to my notes, after dark... Yep. After Dartmouth is when he went into advertising, right?
Absolutely.
Not.
Well, where did he go?
He went to Oxford to study and experience the beauty of
Literature.
One for the ladies.
Woman.
However, the analysis of Gothic literature didn't interest him. He wanted to... He wanted to experience life rather than dissect it.
In one class, he met an American student, Helen Palmer.
Whom he later married.
It was a very boring class on the punctuation of Shakespeare's play King Lear.
Teddy, that's a very lovely flying cow you've drawn.
Thank you, Helen.
Stop burying yourself in Shakespeare's semicolons and go out and see the world.
Hello? Let's move on.
So,
Thank you.
he quits Oxford, and he spent several months traveling Europe.
Now, answer me this. Did he ever actually acquire his doctorate?
Absolutely.
Not. But he acquires a whole new philosophy about life. He decides that most adults take life much too seriously, and he vows to retain a child's perspective on life. View the world without a social pressure gauge. Let the imagination run free.
React and experience from an honest gut level. Enjoy a good laugh.
1927, New York. He finally lands a job at Judge Magazine. He marries Helen, but due to the recession, his salary drops to $40 a week. Judge Magazine becomes his real graduate school. It's where he learns his craft and develops a style and a gallery of characters that become his repertory company for life.
He creates Boys and Beasties, a series of scientific satires, like
reading music at sight.
How to eject a cow from your apartment.
The dangers of a small laugh.
Science by Seuss. So he signs them Dr. Seuss.
That's where doctor came from. Hallelujah.
One day in drawing a cartoon, he tosses a coin to see which bug killer he'll use in the caption. Darn it all! Another dragon. Just after I sprayed the whole castle with Flit.
The wife of a Flit ad exec sees the cartoon and suggests Dr. Seuss be signed to a high-paying position in Standard Oil's advertising department. And so he becomes a commercial artist for Standard Oil.
But money in the bank doesn't make him happy. He soon regrets seeing his cartoons and advertising slogans disappear within a week, so he leaves.
Brave man. Very difficult freelancing during depression. There's something to be said for a steady job.
Two for the ladies.
Woman. He rejoins his friends at Standard Oil. But in his contract, he has one small loophole that is to change his life. Writing children's books.
Grand slam home run.
Really? Bam, bam, bam. He experiments with two children's books without much success. However, in 1936, he and his wife Helen are returning from a European vacation
aboard the passenger liner MS Kung Ho.
In a blistering storm.
To take his mind off the rocking and the rolling.
The rolling and the rocking. He writes a story.
Oh, I can't rock and roll anymore. Just one moment, please.
The rhythm of the ship's engines echo throughout the liner. Da 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 da.
This rhythm hypnotizes him, and he writes. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Bon voyage, young ladies!
The wind be in your sails. Yeah, the wind up your sails. Bye-bye. I saw it on Mulberry Street. And I'm Mulberry thinking on Mulberry Street. And And I next time I saw it on I'm gonna puke it. I saw it, I drink it. Think I read it on Picklewood Street. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me, can I share this bench with you? I've just had a very rough trip, don't ask. Oh, that's better. Hi, I'm Kathy. My name's Marco. What's the matter, Marco?
Whenever I leave home to walk to school, my dad always says to me, Marco, son, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see.
And what's wrong with that?
When I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he always looks at me and sternly says, your eyesight's much too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales and stop turning minnows into whales. What can I see when I get home tonight? All that I've noticed is that my own two feelings was just a horse and wagon on Mulberry Street.
What would you like to see?
Well, there's nothing to tell us, that won't do, of course. It's just a broken down wagon that's drawn by a horse. That can't be my story. I think I start.
Yep.
Okay, the zebra was pulling that cart.
That's a story that no one can beat. When you say that you saw it on Mulberry Street.
The zebra's fine, but I think it's a shame. It's a marvelous beast with the cart that's so tame. The story would really be better to hear. The driver I saw wore a chariot beer. Yeah. Golden Blue Chariot something to me, something like thunder down Mulberry Street. No. It won't do at all because a zebra's much too small.
A reindeer is better. It's fast and it's sleek. It looks mighty smart on old Mulberry Street.
Yeah, well, hold on a minute. There's something wrong. A reindeer hates the way it feels the pull thing that runs on wheels. You might have to instead if you could pull a fancy sled. A reindeer and a sled. But it isn't too late to make one little change. A sleigh and an elephant.
Now there's something strange.
Yeah, I'll take one with plenty of power inside. A blue one with plenty of fun in his eyes. Say, it does make a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street.
And then just give it a little more tone. A Raja with rubies for tie on his robe.
Yes, but he looks something grand with a great big brass band. No, it worries me. It's this. Mulberry Street just runs into bliss.
Unless there's something that you can fix up, there'll be an awful traffic mix-up.
It takes police to do the trick, and it'll never crash now. And it'll reach the top speed with Sergeant Mulvaney himself in the lead. But then the mayor's there. He thinks of his grand, and he raises his hat as they dash by the stand. With a whir of its motor, an airplane appears. Wow! When it jumps out in a steady while everyone cheers. Yeah!
That's a story that no one can beat.
I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Wow. There's so much to tell. I just couldn't begin. Dad'll look at me sharply and he'll pull at his chin and frown at me sternly from there in his seat. Oh, was there nothing to look at? No people to greet? There's nothing that excites you or make your heart beat?
And what will you say?
Nothing, I'll say, going right to the beat. Little plain horse and wagon on Mulberry Street.
Hey, Marco, babe. You got a great imagination, all right? Don't change. Come here. Get out of here. Stay sweet as you are. Don't grow old.
You're like my dad.
Well, you got to give him a break. Sometimes when you get to be an adult, other things become important, and you forget to have a laugh, you have responsibilities, you have to... Bye-bye.
Good morning, ma'am. Sergeant Mulvaney at your service. You all right, miss?
Miss, I'm fine. I'm just a little confused. I mean, why would Marco's father purposely want him to be boring?
That's not so simple now, is it? Marco's father was not a bad man. Dr. Seuss created him because he knew that adults and teachers didn't realize how they could smother the imagination. Smother it rather than mother it.
I don't imagine that was an easy sell.
But that was the challenge, don't you see? He knew that it was something that people did not want to hear, but he was determined to push it through. When Irish skies are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. When the wind... Aha! What
Here I have the manuscript of Mulberry Street.
For me? How sweet. Thank you.
Let's say for now. Now be a pal and walk through that door.
You're not serious. Hello? There's nothing on the other side of the door.
Oh, is that Marco's father that I be after hearing? Remember, nothing can be anything or something or everything where Dr. Seuss is involved.
Okay. So, I guess this is goodbye. He's in a meeting. He'll get right.
Not for us. Rip, no thanks. Nope.
And you, I will call you.
It's not trying.
Hold on. Hey. Let me see your badge. What was that all about?
With Mulberry Street in hand, he went through that door 27 times and every publisher rejected it.
Well, at this point, I think he should have been thinking career change.
But he had no grand delusions about what others would think of his work. Oh, no. He knew that one solitary voice was still out there, and he was determined to find it. He'd pick himself up, brush himself down, and begin again. And on that happy note, I'll be off. But you have ahead of you a walloping world of wonders. Enjoy it.
Wait. Watch out for the door. On second thought, be my guest.
If you believe in something, my dear, never give up on it.
Wait. Sergeant, what?
Coming up, the voice of Billy Crystal tells how Dr. Seuss won an Oscar as TNT's In Search of Dr. Seuss continues. The premiere of TNT's In Search of Dr. Seuss now continues.
Well, hello. So glad you could drop by. Where have you been?
Well, you were with Mulvaney.
Yes, and he was lovely.
Did he do his famous revolving door trick?
Yes, I found it quite exhilarating.
Oh, really? He was mine originally, you know.
Was it? Now, don't be jealous. He was just quite taken with the great success of Mulberry Street. Apparently, he was featured in it.
Well, that's Mulvaney. It was a success, but not great enough to allow Dr. Seuss the opportunity to quit the ad world.
You're kidding, still? What does the man have to do? I don't know about you, but about this time I'm thinking, okay, bye-bye, let's go, all right?
Dirty cat. Yep. It was that kind of time.
Yeah.
Catastrophic.
I want to. Really, I really got
World War II had just broken out in Europe. Dr. Seuss was about to take a 7-year break from the ad world and his writing.
Oh, I know this. This is one of his political cartoons from PM Magazine. He showed me something like this in the tower, right?
I see you've been paying attention. Dr. Seuss felt Hitler was a real threat to the entire world and had to be stopped. These were the only angry pictures he ever drew, but he felt it necessary to take that odd sledgehammer approach.
Oh, I know this. Maisie, Horton, and the Elephant Bird, right?
The GOP, or Republican Party, and the isolationists had complained that the U.S. should stay out of the war. Seuss drew their squawking child, the Gopstrich.
Don't get involved! Don't get involved!
These images are so intense, I would have never expected this from Dr. Seuss.
Good material for your story.
Excellent material. You know what's amazing is that he combined, like, real-life political figures with his animated characters, right?
Many of these friends were to have another life in his children's books.
Yertle the Turtle.
Dr. Seuss was warning factory workers who produced military weaponry that if they didn't move faster than turtles, we'd never see victory.
What is going on?
Oh, maybe we better duck in here.
Hello? 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 Is anyone here? What do you... You are a ghost.
All right, carry on. I got a paper story right here.
Hello? Room? I am friendly and I'd like to speak to you.
Well, if you want to shed some light on the situation, pull the cord.
Okay.
That's it. Hey, there you go. Welcome to the Ford Fox editing room. I'm over here on the shelf. Right over here.
This is amazing.
Here.
You?
No, not the mouse. Here. Hey, that's Captain Geisel with the Army's documentary filmmaking unit. Come on, over here. Little closer. Left, left, left. There you go.
What, the radio?
Don't get too excited. Yeah, the radio.
Okay, you're not going to, ask me for an oil can or something, are you?
Very funny. No, you're listening to the Voice of America. We started in World War II and we're still on the air. You know, like Soul Train. What can I do for you?
Well, you can start by giving me the scoop on everything related to Dr. Seuss in wartime.
Okay, Dollface.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I like it. Maybe later I'll show you my transmitter. Now, over on the desk, there's some scripts. Read one.
Okay.
Yeah, take a look at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Listen, I saw a microphone over there, and I...
Everybody loves a microphone. Go ahead, enjoy yourself. Yep, right over there. Knock yourself out.
Testing.
Hey, Miss Fitzgerald.
As World War II began, Dr. Seuss became Captain Geisel working at Hollywood's Fort Fox under Colonel Frank Capra, director of It's a Wonderful Life. Geisel produced a series of indoctrination films that earned him a Legion of Merit award.
It's a very impressive award.
In 1944, he was transferred to Europe, and while serving in France, he commandeered a jeep to observe frontline action. He ended up in a quaint little town named Bastogne.
Wasn't that quaint? It was the Battle of the Bulge, one of the most important battles of the war.
In 1946, a Warner Brothers release was written by Ted and Helen Geisel. It won an Academy Award Best Documentary Short Subject. That's very impressive.
You're telling me. You want to see some? Flick that projector on, please. Now, here are excerpts from that documentary. It's called Hitler Lives. Yeah, put it on right there. Now, who would think that Dr. Seuss would have done something like this?
War with Germany ends in victory. Victory leads to peace. Sometimes, sometimes not. 1945. The problem now is future peace. Nazi Germany today appears to be beaten. Hitler out. Swastikas gone. It's still enemy country. We must still be alert. Somewhere in Germany are the SS guards out of uniform, the stormtroopers by the thousands, the 2 million ex-Nazi officials out of power, but still thinking and thinking about next time. However free of the Nazi party they may seem, they cannot come back into the civilized world just by sticking their hand out and saying, "We're sorry." Not sorry they caused the war, but only sorry they lost it. Someday the Nazis of Germany might be cured of the super race disease, the world conquest disease, but this must be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. The voices of millions of dead cry out, this time we must not have died in vain. We are determined that the Nazi plans for world conquest shall stop here and now. Right here in America, advocates of fascism live amongst us. They wear many guises as they continue with Hitler's aims and purposes, spreading the propaganda of race hatred and violence.
No small men must be permitted to break down the democratic ideals of the youth of our nation, where children of all races can meet on common ground, inspired by a heritage of clean living and the principles of fair play and honor. The people themselves must so earnestly desire peace that we will not only demand it, but work for it incessantly. Then only will be created a sound heritage that shall be guaranteed for the sons and daughters of the living and dead, who so truly earn the fruits their children are entitled to reap in the united world of tomorrow, the world of lasting freedom between all nations.
It must have had a major impact on its time.
Well, he didn't want anyone to forget what had happened and what could happen again. An interesting thing. His original drawings of Yertle the turtle had a little Hitler mustache and wore a Nazi uniform.
Wow, you're kidding.
What's going on? What's that? Something's going on. Electrical power. Better get out of here. Better get out of here.
How much greater I'd be. What a king! I'd be ruler of all that you see. I'm Yertle, the turtle, oh marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see.
King Yertle, my name's the Mac. I come from the bottom of the turtle stack. I got pains in my back and knees. How much longer, your majesty? I know you're the king, but I gotta complain. The crew down here is in a lot of pain. Up at the top, you're seeing great sights, but down at the bottom, we too have rights.
You have your mouth. You've no right to talk to the world's highest turtle. I rule over clouds, over land, over sea, and there's nothing, no nothing that's higher than me. Now, nothing.
While he was shouting, he saw with surprise the moon of the evening started to rise over his head in the darkening sky.
What's that? Say, what is that thing that dares to be higher than Yertle the king? I'll call some more turtles, and I'll stack them right onto heaven. I think I'll need about 5,607.
And Yertle the turtle king lifted his hand and started to order and give the command. That plain little turtle, whose name was just Mac, decided he'd take the nut, and he had.
And that plain little lad got a little bit mad. And that plain little Mac did a plain little thing. He served.
King of the mud.
When we come back, Robin Williams will read The Cat in the Hat as TNT's In Search of Dr. Seuss continues. This presentation of In Search of Dr. Seuss is brought to you by Target. Expect more. Pay less.
Hallelujah, turtles, of course. All turtles are free, and turtles are free, and turtles do the
You never get here.
Oh, yes, where am I?
Welcome to the 1950s. Dr. Seuss was back writing ad copy and creating children's books in his spare time.
Huh?
The drawing was easy for him. It was the words that kept him up at night. He threw over 95% of his work away.
Well, he was a perfectionist. I can relate to that. Okay, so 20 years later, does he finally get the confidence to, leave the ad world and become a full-time writer?
Acquiring confidence isn't always easy. But in 1957, things changed. John Hersey of Life magazine challenged Dr. Seuss to write a primer for classrooms. Hersey felt that school kids were bored reading about Dick, Jane.
I remember those books. Exciting rules and personal hygiene tips for children. No, not fun.
So, Dr. Seuss took the dare and began to write a book kids could read using only 225 basic words. And after 9 months,
The Cat in the Hat. The sun did not shine. It was too wet to play. So we sat in the house all that cold, cold, wet day. I sat there with Sally. We sat there, we two, and I said,
Oh, I wish we had something to do.
and then something went bump! No. How that bump made us jump. We looked, and we saw him step in on the mat. We looked, and we saw him. The cat in the hat. He said to us,
Why do you sit there like that? I know it's wet and the sun is not sunny. We're going to have fun and lots of good fun. That's funny.
Then Sally and I did not know what to say. Our mother was out of the house for the day. But our fish said, No.
Make that cat go away. He should not be here. He should not be about. He should not be here when your mother is out.
Now, have no fear. Have no fear, said the cat. My tricks are not bad, said the Cat in the Hat. We can have lots of good fun if you wish.
Come on up there. This is a lot of good fun.
Okay, wait.
Oh, you see, that's how you can have a lot of good fun with a game that I call Up with Fish.
Look at me now. It's fun to have fun.
You have to know how. I can hold up the cup and the milk and the cake.
Oh, and all of these books and a fish on a rake. I can hold a
toy ship and a little toy man. And look, with my tail,
I can hold up a red fan.
Mendacity. I can fan with the fan. I can hop on the ball. And that is not all.
No, that's not all.
That's what the cat said. Oh. Then he fell on his head. And our fish came down too. And he fell into a pot. He said,
Do I like this? Oh, no, I do not.
You should not be here when our mother is not. Get out of this house,
said the fish in the pot.
I said that. I meant it.
I know you did. I will not go away. I do not wish to go. And so. I will show you another good game that I know. And he ran out, then fast as a fox. The Cat in the Hat came back in with a box. And he got up on top with the tip of his hat. I call this game Fun in a Box, said the cat. Then out of the box came Sing 2 and Sing 1.
Sing 2 and sing 1.
That's right. These things will not bite you. They just like to have fun. Now, here's a game that they like, said the cat. They like to fly kites.
We can fly the kite. Look at the kite. You want to fly a kite? No, you see, you can do that. You can fly a kite in the house.
No, not in the house,
said the fish in the pot.
They should not fly kites in a house. They should not. Oh.
Then Sally and I saw them run down the hall. These two things bumped their kites on the wall. Thing 2 and Thing 1. They ran up, they ran down. On the string of one kite, we saw Mother's new gown. Then our fish said, Look. And our fish shook with fear.
Your mother's on her way home, do you hear? So as fast as you can, think of something you do.
You've got to get rid of Thing 1 and Thing 2.
And I said with my net, I can get them, I bet. I bet with my net I get those things yet. Then I let down my net. It came down with a plop. I had them at last. Those two things had to stop. And I said to the cat, now you do as I say. Now you pack those things up and you take them away. Oh, dear, said the cat. You do not like our game. Oh, dear, oh, dear. What a shame, what a shame, what a shame. Then he shut up the things in the box with a hook, and the cat went away with a sad kind of look. That is good, said the fish. He's gone away, yes. But your mother will come. She'll find this big mess. And then, who was back in the house? Why, the cat. Have no fear of this mess, said the cat in the hat. I always pick up all my playthings, and so I will show you another good trick that I know. And we saw him pick up all the things that were down. He picked up the cake and the rake and the gown and the milk and the strings and the books and the dish and the fan and the cup and the ship and the dish. And he put them away and he said, "That's that." And then he was gone with the tip of his hat. Then Mother came in, and she said to us two, "Hey, did you have any fun? Tell me, what did you do?" And Sally and I did not know what to say. Should we tell her the things that went on there that day? Should we tell her about it? Now, should we? What should we do? What would you do if your mother asked you?
Cat in the Hat sold over 250,000 copies in the first year. And if I'm not mistaken, the first time that a cat ever helped establish a publishing company.
Just tell me, did he finally become a full-time writer?
As a matter of fact, yes. Just another overnight success story. Overnight, that is, 35 years later.
Wait a minute. Cat in the Hat never made it to the schoolroom.
Of course not. It made school boards nervous. It made reading too much fun. That book and his next big one. I frequently think, every now and then, of the glorious fruit of the noble hen. Eggs. E-double-G-S.
My knowledge of eggs is tremendously wide. I've eaten them boiled. I've eaten them fried.
Poached and stirred, deviled and scrambled, crumbled, wumbled, wimbled, and wambled. I've eaten them beaten, swizzled and swazzled. I've known every way that an egg can be guzzled. Thank you very much. But speaking of eggs, reminds me of Sam, whose favorite dish is green eggs and ham.
I am Sam. Sam I am. I am Sam. Sam I am. Did you like green eggs and ham?
I do not like them, Sam. I am. I do not like green eggs and ham.
Would you like them here or there?
I would not like them anywhere.
Would you like them in a house? Would you like them with a mouse?
Not in a house. Not with a mouse. I would not eat them here or there. I would not eat them anywhere. I would not eat green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I am.
A train. Could you with you on a train?
Not on a train, not in a tree, not in a car, Sam. Let me be.
Stay in the dark. You're in the dark. Wouldn't could you in the dark?
I wouldn't, could not in the dark.
Would you could you in the rain?
I would not, could not in the rain, not in the dark, not on a train.
You do not like them till you say, drag them, and you may. Drag them, and you may, I say.
If you will let me be, I will fly them, you will see. Sam, I am.
Talking to adults is trying something new. Green eggs
at hand, the best there is. And Dr. Seuss, he told that story using just 20 words. 50 maybe, I don't know. Aha! Stop that! Cat in the Hat! How do you feel?
It's a little chilly.
Yeah. Now, who is almost correct?
And where?
Where is who? As in Whoville.
Whoville.
Right down there.
Whoville. The Whoville that the Grinch terrorizes.
Oh.
Why?
Someone to talk to at last. Oh, that was awful.
Oh, I bet. What?
A little Cindy Lou Who.
You just wanted to get a present, right?
I didn't get a present. I thought they wanted to get a couple of little presents. I'm sorry.
Please, I'm so sorry.
Come on,
Let's sit down. No, I know I'm sorry. Now sit and tell me the story.
Thank you. I tell you, this is one of his best stories. I love this one. I tell you, because I had the ending.
The ending where he finally gets the...
Who's telling this story?
You.
There it lies, the village of Whoville. It was a serene Christmas Eve, and the snow gently falling. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas. The whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. He knew that on Christmas morn, all the boys and girls would open up their toys.
There's one thing I hate. All the noise.
Then the Who's, young and old, would sit down to a feast.
I remember Who pudding and rare Who roast beef.
And then they'd do something that he liked least of all. I remember they'd sing.
Ba-hoo, bore, ba-hoo, welcome Christmas, come this way. Ba-hoo, bore, welcome.
Why, for 53 years he'd put up with it now. But he must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea.
An awful idea?
The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
I know just what to do. What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I'll look just like St. Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay snooze in their town. All the windows were dark. No one knew he was there. They were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. Then he slid down the chimney a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beef. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. And as the Grinch took the tree and he started to shove, he heard a small sound. Like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who.
Little Cindy Lou Who.
Who was no more than 2.
Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree?
There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here.
And the fib fooled the child.
It was 1/4 dawn. All the Who's still abed. All the Who's still snooze when he packed up his sled. 3,000 feet up to the top of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip top to dump it.
They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise that I simply must hear.
So he paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, didn't come from a store.
Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And then what happened?
Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. With a smile in his soul, he descended Mount Crumpet, cheerfully blowing whoo-hoo on his trumpet.
And he brought everything back.
For the food, for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beef.
So everything's fine. The village has its Christmas, and he learns a valuable lesson at Grinch, and that's a horrible after all, right?
Oh, say, he didn't have to live through it.
Listen, you don't have to be a Whovillian to feel a little sting in your heart, okay, Missy?
Oh, you want to feel some pain? Well, feel that and...
Don't go away. TNT's In Search of Dr. Seuss will return with the Seuss classic, The Lorax.
I'm going to get my story. I'm going to get it. Whether it's snow or sleet or...
Sorry. Where you've just been was... Well, let's just say the Grinch was Dr. Seuss's favorite character. Well, maybe second favorite. He loved the Christmas of years past and felt sad it was becoming more about selling than feeling. The Grinch was his way of getting an office chance.
How very clever of Dr. Seuss to sort of slide the moral in sideways.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the Grinch has cheered him up. He loves it. Everything's fabulous, right?
Professionally, yes. Personally, no.
What?
The late 1960s were very tough on Dr. Seuss. Helen, his wife, friend, and advisor for 40 years, passed away. Within a year, so did his father. Dr. Seuss was despondent, unable to find consolation even in his work, until a friend, Audrey, suggested, when you're trying to overcome something, you should stand on your head and look at things that way.
Sounds like something Dr. Seuss would say.
Exactly. They fell in love and got married. And Audrey noted early on, in Ted Geisel, there's a wild little kid.
Oh, thank you.
He'd been struggling for 9 months on a book about ecology.
Oh.
And Audrey suggested they take a vacation to Africa.
Very nice.
The trip was a
A what? A what? Hairball. Hairball. You all right?
A list. The trip was a catalyst for him.
Okay.
In Kenya, he was inspired by some odd-looking trees, which reminded him of his own drawings.
And the 15 cents is for...
The next thing he knew, the trees were being felled. Audrey, they're cutting my trees! So he grabbed a hotel laundry slip and scribbled a rough draft of his favorite book, The Lorax.
It's fascinating. And this is for...
In the bucket.
Oh. Place inside 15 cents, a nail, and a snail shell. Sign the onceless. Uno, dos, tres. Bye-bye.
Hello?
Yeah, can you... can you tell me what happened to Dr. Seuss's tree?
It all started way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the Swami Swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place. Then I saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees. And under the trees, I saw brown barbaloots, frisking about in their barbaloot suits. I felt a great leaping of love in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop.
Mister, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs, that thing, that horrible thing that I see, what's that thing you made out of my truffula tree?
This thing is most useful. This thing is a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt. It's a sock. It's a glove. It's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that.
Sir, you're crazy. You're crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who would buy that fool's need.
And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting sleeves, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees.
I speak for the trees, and I'll yell and I'll shout for the fine things on earth that are on their way out.
Oh, it's Nature Boy, the Garden Club member.
Yes, I am the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go around.
I see your point. Yes, I do see your point.
They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Please think about it, won't you?
Things were going just fine all the way down the line when he snuck out of a pipe. He was back with another gripe.
Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor Swami Swans, why, they can't sing a note. And so, they cannot live here. I am sending them off.
Where will they go?
I don't hopefully know.
And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came the sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we saw the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all.
I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word.
Unless?
Yes, unless.
Unless what?
Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. Catch. It's a truffula seed. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds. And truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula. Treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest. Protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
Okay. Take time. Get involved. Everybody makes a difference. What's going on over there?
Possibly another butter battle. Come on up and see.
It's the Zooks and the Ukes. Butter side up, butter side down. Looks like things are heating up again.
Is that Zooks and Ukes with two O's?
Yes, as in Luke.
As you know, on this side of the wall, we are Ukes. On the far other side of this wall live the Zooks. In every Zook house and in every Zook town, every Zook eats his bread with the butter side down. But we Ukes, when we eat, when we breakfast or sup, we spread our bread right with the butter side up. Every Zook must be watched. He has kinks in his soul. That's why, as a young man, I made watching my goal. Watching Zooks for the Zook Watching Border Patrol. One day, a very rude Zook by the name of Anitch snuck up and slingshotted my stickberry switch.
This is getting serious. A disagreement over spreading butter the right way.
No, I'm sure Dr. Seuss had more on his mind than two groups muttering over buttering. I made a rhyme.
About time.
Hit me. But now this is the calm before the storm. He's about to make a big point, I'm sure.
You got that right.
My dear boy, you're not to blame. You simply have suffered a minor defeat because your stickberry switch is a bit obsolete. Their slingshot's more modern. What we need to get is a weapon that's even more moderner yet. So I've ordered the boys in the back room to figure how to build you some such duper thingamajigger.
I marched to the wall with great vim and great vigor. With my triple sling jigger, I sure felt much bigger.
My jigger rock snatch 'em. We'll fling 'em right back just as fast as we catch 'em.
They thought up a great one. They certainly did. They thought up a gun called the Kickapoo Kid, which they loaded with powerful Poo-a-Doo powder and axe eggs and bees legs and dry fried clam chowder.
Shoot if you must with your wee tidy shooter. The boys in my back room have rendered it neuter. With this 8-nozzled elephant-toted boom blitz, it shoots high explosive sour cherry stone pits and will put your dumb Kickapoo Kid on the fritz.
Those boys in the back room sure knew how to put her. They made me a thing called the utterly sputter. But Vanitch had a sputter exactly like mine, and he yelled,
"My blue gooer is working just fine."
My boys made me a gadget that's new as a new. It's filled with mysterious moo-like-a-moo and can blow all those jukes to salamagoo. They invented the bitchy big boy boomeroo. Vanitch, here's the end of your terrible town, full of zooks who eat bread with the butter side down.
And I, my dear chaps, have a message for you. Mainly, I also have a big boy boomeroo. I will blow you into pork and wheat beans. I'll butter side up you to small smithereens.
Grandpa, be careful. Oh, geez. Who's gonna drop it? Will you or will he?
Be patient. We'll see. We'll see.
Dr. Seuss took a tremendous amount of criticism for this book.
Why?
Seuss was accused of frightening children.
Oh, right. Like robo-terminating aliens don't frighten children, and Dr. Seuss does. Besides, children should be aware of what's happening around them.
Everybody should.
Yeah. Tell me something. Which side did Dr. Seuss butter his bread on?
The edge.
Coming up, the Cat in the Hat tells the secret behind Dr. Seuss's favorite story, the conclusion of TNT's In Search of Dr. Seuss. This presentation of In Search of Dr. Seuss is brought to you by Children's Tylenol and by Mattel. The premiere of TNT's In Search of Dr. Seuss now continues.
So, how's your notebook? Filling up?
My notebook in my head. I hope I don't forget anything.
Well, I have a hunch you'll remember more than you think. Say bye to Norval.
Okay. Why not?
In his 70s and 80s, he spent a lot of time in and out of hospitals, battling cancer, a heart attack, an eye disease. But he kept on working 8 hours a day, 7 days a week.
He's creative and working in his 80s? Gives me something to live for.
He was once offered a huge sum for the use of his characters in a commercial. This would have put him in the Guinness Book of Records as the highest paid writer per word ever.
Kidding, Ann?
He replied, I would rather be in the Guinness Book of Records as the writer who refused the highest amount of money per word.
How cool. What else?
His characters were like family to him. He also liked to sing in karaoke bars.
What?
Well, just kidding. Seeing whether you're listening.
I am.
His life was his work, and his work was never done. It was only at this point in his life he could write the book, Oh, the Places You'll Go, in which he took a look at the ups and downs of the entire human experience.
No, yes, no, not going to do it. Not going to go in the revolving door. No.
It was mine originally. Come on. Trust me.
I've been kidnapped. Call 911. Oh, here we go. Oh, my.
Works every time. You've changed.
I guess I have. And so, have you.
Everyone is just waiting. Everyone is just waiting. Waiting for a train to go, the phone to ring, the snow to snow. Waiting around for a yes or a no, or just waiting for their hair to grow.
Everyone is just waiting. Everyone is just waiting. Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting around for a Friday night. A string of pearls, a pair of pants, a wig with coils, or another chance.
But that's not for you.
My George, I think you're right.
Positive.
I'd love to.
Oh, the places you'll go, there is fun to be done, and there are games to be won. I said, oh, the places you'll go.
Oh? Oh, the places I'll go, I'll be seeing great sights. I'll soar to high heights. I said, oh, the places I'll go.
I'm sorry to say, but sadly it's true.
What?
That bang up and hang up can happen to you.
No.
You'll come down from a ledge with an unpleasant bump.
Ouch.
And the chances are then you're gonna be in a slump.
And when I'm in a slump, I'm not in for much fun. Unslumping myself is very difficult. Well, it's not easily done. The places I'll go.
You'll be missed to the best. Just tap powder.
I said, the places I'll go.
On you'll go, the weather befall. Onward, a funny, a frightening creak.
Though my arms may get sore.
And your sneakers may leak.
Ew, but will I succeed?
Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed.
Oh!
Bros, it's Kay, and I don't mean a 747.
Kickball change, go on, I'm a dancer,
You're off to great places. Today is your day.
My mountain is waiting.
But get on your way. Oh, the places you'll go.
Oh, my.
Before you run off,
Why not? I'm having too good a time. Do I have to go?
Not till you scamper over here and see something very special. It's a fossilized footprint of a dinosaur.
Oh, my goodness.
Approximately 150 million years old. His father gave it to him when he was in his 20s.
What a great present.
It was to remind him that even though we might become extinct, we all have the opportunity to leave our footprint in the sand.
I think he left more than a footprint.
Before he was to put his typewriter away for good, he'd written 50 books and sold over 100 million copies, translated into 20 languages and Braille.
What did he care most about?
Turning. Illiteracy. Lack of literacy. That's what made him mad, angry, furious, curious. He predicted cultural disintegration, life as a third-rate nation. Only the parents could save the day, he would say. Fill the house with stacks of books. Pile them on the sofa, the TV, in every cranny, and all the nooks. He knew the average kid would pick up a book, find something interesting. Pretty soon, he'd be reading. He wrote this in his later years.
How did it get so late so soon? It's night before it's afternoon. December's here before it's June. My goodness, how the time has flown. How did it get so late so soon? Listen, I want to apologize for, how I came in earlier and I was acting just very...
beastly.
Crabby.
Angry.
Tired.
P.O.'d.
I was stressed out.
Well, you're a journalist. What do you expect?
Wait a minute. How could it still be 4:30? Hey, did you see that this... Hello? Where'd you go now? Bye-bye, my friend. And thank you, Dr. Seuss. I had a great time. I got a great story. It has been quite wild.
I hope for the children a world of peace, and that they never lose their sense of wonder and discovery. From there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere.
TNT's November Seuss-abration continues all this month. It's the biggest Seuss Fest ever. We've got all the Dr. Seuss specials, including Horton the Elephant, the Cat in the Hat, and the mean one himself, the Grinch, in a TNT exclusive presentation that shows you how the Grinch was made. And be on the lookout for TNT's new movie, In Search of Dr. Seuss.